Un chien qui a mordu 3 fois, il doit être endormi, c'est ça ce que dit la loi.
C'est vous l'avocate des causes désespérées. Faites votre boulot.
Bon, écoute, les causes perdues d'avance, tu les laisses de côté.
Je te jure.
Et tu gagnes. La seule limite à tes rêves,
Mais il y en a pas.
c'est toi.
Mon petit garçon d'amour qui fait du croc-dedans.
Bon, d'accord.
The first question obviously has to be, are you a dog person or a cat person?
I don't own any animal because I don't like the word even owning an animal, but my neighbor's cat is often sleeping in my bed, coming from my window during the night and jumps, and as I'm asleep, and he sleeps with me. So in the facts, I'm more a cat person, although I don't have any animal. But I'm also a horse person. I love animals. I love looking at our differences and trying to understand what they think, what they do, specificity. I love that.
Cosmo, the dog in the film, he's top billed in the credits, like he's the first name that pops up there. He must have a really good and tough agent that he get a top billing there. Huh?
You know, this dog has a lot of money and a lot of influence. No, but actually, this dog, he understands when you say cut. He stops playing. He also understands when I have a fight scene with him in the film. And he understands when he hurts you. When you say, "Aye!" he stops. So he knows he's playing in a way. Mm-hmm. So he's an actor. Might not know that we do a film, but he's an actor.
And he was the only dog on set, or did you have like several dogs of the same breed?
It's absolutely impossible to have a similar dog of the same breed because Cody, the dog playing Cosmos, has 12 breeds different in his blood. So it's a real mix, very difficult to reproduce, I think. But this dog was very professional, maybe more professional than all the actors. And we had rehearsed a lot with his dog trainers. It was, I don't think it was easy, but it was well prepared. We also put, he had to work a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon. He had time to walk around with all these dog friends who came with him. 8 dog friends.
So he had his own entourage, basically.
Totally. his own truck.
And did you get a big treat at the end of the shoot?
The big treat?
Yeah, did you get like a big treat, like a cake or something
when
the shooting was wrapped?
It's not good for him. He's quite an old dog. He has to be careful on his diet.
Cosmos va être le premier chien à être jugé responsable de ses actes dans le premier procès de chien depuis le Moyen-Âge.
Écoutez, moi, personnellement, j'adore les chiens.
C'est elle qui défend la femme mordue.
Et ce chien, il est méchant.
Attention, Toupi.
This is obviously a tricky subject, like animals in front of court, but you're using humor to balance it out. How difficult was it to find the right balance between seriousness and laughter?
It comes from a true story. And in the true story, a dog had bitten a woman at the face, and the woman had sued the owner of the dog because the dog was considered as a thing in the law. Of course, the dog is not a thing. We don't know how to identify him, but it's not a thing. So that's the serious part. But if a lawyer, like the one I play in the film, proves that this dog is not a thing, a judge a little bit crazy might say, okay, he's not a thing, so he might be someone. So we have to make a trial to understand how much he's responsible in his actions. And the dog trial starts, and that becomes a comedy. And you just have to follow the logic, actually. Mm-hmm. So it's always funny and serious at the same time. You have to make the dog witness, testimony. How do you do that? You have to understand all the witnesses. You have to. We made like a real trial, but trying to find a judge who might try to find a good logic for the dog, but the same logic, actually.
Le chien Cosmos, sans nom de famille, de sexe masculin. Vous êtes fils de Barba Papa et Chocapic.
Oui.
Because you also researched a lot about the law, especially in Switzerland, because it's set in Switzerland. What was the most fascinating thing you found during that law research?
One of my favorite things is actually a story that a judge from Switzerland told me about. It's a divorce.
Between humans, I'm assuming.
Between humans. And the humans are really arguing and fighting for the dog. They both want the dog. But as the dog is considered as a thing that has feelings, you can't do shared custody like for children. It's not possible because it's not legal. So the judge really said at the time, okay, so we have to cut the dog in two if you don't find an agreement. And so, of course, the men and the women, they made an agreement. But this story was very funny, I think.
This is your first feature film as a director, obviously, and you got the invitation to Cannes. When you got that invitation, what was that moment like?
When I got the invitation, my film was not finished, and I hadn't been sleeping for 3 or 4 months because it was so scary. I was so scared, I couldn't sleep. And so I just had the news, and I felt, oh, so my film is not shit? My film is not shit? Good, because you don't know if your film is shitty or not. You do what you think is good, but actually, you don't know. And so, okay, my film is not shit. It's not shit. It's not shit. So I was quite happy it was not shit.
Why all the sleepless nights? Did you have a lot of doubts about the film?
Yes, but what was the most difficult part was the post-production, the end, because you've been working for 3 years, you're kind of exhausted, and now there's no money anymore, no patience anymore from the producers. Everybody is just fed up with you, and I couldn't find my film. The edit was very long. I couldn't find it. I worked with one editor, and then we didn't find the film, so I started with someone else. And then the sound, it was all new problems, or that I didn't have the language. Music, very complicated to work with music. So I had all these new jobs and special effects and everything at the same time with no money, nobody really answering or saying, you have to cut this, you have to cut this, and you have to really think what you really want.
Your main character, your lawyer, calls herself, or is being called, the lawyer of hopeless cases. Were there ever any moments in the production where you felt a little bit hopeless, like the whole endeavor was like, oh my God, this is a hopeless case?
Yes. Actually, I remember, it's not that sad because now I'm happy, but I remember one night I was alone in my flat in Geneva, and I said, okay, I have to end this. Oh, I don't care. I prefer to die. I'm going to die. I need to die. And I didn't do anything. I didn't try anything, but it never happened to me before that I said that to myself. So I was really, really desperate.
You've worked with dogs, or with a dog now in the film. When you're watching a movie with dogs in it now, do you look at them differently, or is it the same even like before you did Le Procès du Chien?
Before I directed The Procès du Chien, I looked a lot movies with dogs just to see how they... But actually, I'm really impressed in films and series by the work with animals. For instance, there is this series from Alfonso Cuarón with Kate Blanchett.
Disclaimer.
Did you see the cat? The cat is incredible. I don't know how they did that with the cat.
But do you look at it differently? Like when you see that cat in Disclaimer, are you like, okay, they must have trained it this way, and because you have now every experience.
Yes,
like
I try to understand the tricks, but in Disclaimer, I don't understand the tricks. I was thinking maybe it's Kate Blanchett's cat. It might be her cat. I don't know. It's very personal, the behaviors, the relationship she has with the cat. The cat is coming off the table, down, off. He's doing whatever he wants, and it's so beautiful, always in the frame. I don't understand. This cat is a genius.
I mean, sometimes they do that. I remember talking to Matthew Vaughn about Argyle, and in that blockbuster, there's also a cat has a very important role. That's actually Matthew Vaughn's and Claudia Schiffer's cat.
C'est vrai?
Because they tried to cast a different cat, and it was the hopeless case basically. So they were just like, yeah, we'll just take our own cat because he will behave and do what we say.
Ce chien ne mord que des femmes. Ce chien, il est misogyne.
In the film, there's this big protest scene with like people holding up signs and everything. Did everything run smoothly in that scene, or do you have like bypassers, like people who walked by and were like, oh, what's going over there? What's it saying on the sign? What is going on here? Or were it like everything contained and you could work in peace?
It was only 200 people. And so I'm it's very good that you ask this question because that means it looks good. There's only 200 people. Some of them were animalists and others were feminists. And they made demonstrations in both sides. They were militant. They were really in the feminism and in the animal thing. So they look very passionate. They look really in the film, and that's good, but because they were real, they demonstrate a lot.
Est-ce qu'on veut vivre dans un monde qui respecte la nature de chacun, sa singularité? On ne peut pas le juger comme un homme. Il faut qu'on redéfinisse le statut du chien.